Bald eagles are one of the best warriors among all birds. They are not only very strong, but also like to fight with other clawed birds. Eagles are aggressive, bold, violently pounce on competitors, and it seems sometimes they do not need a reason at all to attack another predator. It would seem that such a mighty and brave bird can feel safe anywhere. Moreover, in its own huge nest, arranged so high on the top of the tree that it is even difficult to get up there. But the bald eagle clearly underestimated its enemy, the huge owl. This nocturnal predator is so brave and desperate that it can be the first to attack an eagle right at home. Perhaps this is revenge. Day and night, birds of prey are direct rivals, so they often attack each other. Judging by the behavior of the owl, this eagle clearly caused her some problems. How else are you supposed to explain the purposefulness and aggression with which the owl searches for and then promptly attacks the enemy? The bald eagle has excellent fighting skills with other birds of prey, even without acceleration and without using flight. Few eagles are able to fight so coolly, using only their claws and beak. Except the eagle didn't know who he was messing with. Although a daytime predator can spot prey at an altitude of several miles, see the reflections of fish scales in the glare of the water, react to any enemy movement with lightning speed, all these superpowers disappear in the dark. Because the eagle's eyes have no night vision mode at all. According to some reports, this bird, oddly enough, at night he sees worse than a man. That's when the owl's finest hour begins. She attacks the eagle and easily dodges its retaliatory attacks, which the bird is forced to carry out almost blindly. But the owl perfectly sees the weak points of the enemy, knows where to hit it, and mercilessly attacks its enemy. As a result, the owl just threw the eagle out of its own nest. If the eagle had not managed to catch its claws on the lower branches at the very last moment, it would have collapsed to the ground. This time, the owls are already defending their home from the invasion of one of the daytime predators. This falcon flew into the nest, not understanding who it was dealing with. Not only that, even one owl can give him a serious rebuttal, so there were also two of them. Breaking into their home was a huge mistake. The most curious thing is how the birds behaved. The owls attacked the enemy ruthlessly and aggressively, but at the same time they acted very carefully so as not to damage the chicks. Not to allow the enemy to injure themselves, and not to touch each other. It's pretty smart, isn't it? But that's not all. Pay attention that most of the time the owls just kept the opponent in the corner. They pressed the insolent occupier to the fence and forcefully squeezed its paws. Cautious but painful attacks of owls alternated with real intimidation. Just look at how shocked the falcon is. He did not expect that instead of defenseless chicks of the enemy, he would receive both adult birds as enemies. And even in a confined space where there is no sense from the speed of a daytime predator. The grip strength of owls is enormous, and their sickle-shaped claws, although inferior to the weapons of some golden eagles, are still stronger and sharper than that of this falcon. It's hard to say what exactly was the main motivation of the owls, but it seems that they are mocking its enemy, intimidating him, and deliberately bringing him to the hysteria so that he remembers this for the rest of his life. Breaking into someone else's home is a very bad idea. Interestingly enough, after enjoying the helplessness of the enemy, his fear and defeat, the owls let him go. And as a result, all the birds remain alive, but the falcon will never forget this lesson. Any top of the coolest fighters of the animal world will be incomplete without... No, not a lion and not a bear, but of course these are brave fighters. They fight with other predators and can single-handedly attack herbivores 3 to 4 times larger than themselves. It seems who could be cooler? The answer is the goose. Just look at how this bird, weighing as much as a domestic cat, chases a gorilla, which is about 15 times more massive. The huge primate wandered around his enclosure like the owner of the grounds, solidly, calmly, and confidently. It seems that he is trying to assert himself when he wants to drive away a goose that has accidentally flown in, and this was a big mistake. The bird reacts instantly. It perceives any sideways glance in its direction as an invitation to a fight. And this is a real holiday for the goose. The bird does not care how huge and strong the opponent is. It attacks by spreading its wings and making a frightening hiss, and the gorilla is shocked by such courage. It could have just crushed the bird with one crushing blow of its fist, but instead the primate runs away in panic. And the goose is not happy. It wants to fight. And it chases the helpless giant monkey, which one-on-one can give battle to any heavy predator. Just not an ordinary goose, who doesn't even take the enemy seriously and mocks him. The goose doesn't run away, doesn't try to be higher than the enemy. He's attacking him right from the ground. After such humiliation, the role of the leader of the gorilla clan does not shine on this primate. If you think this is the only such case, you are mistaken. Here, a goose attacks an entire herd of ungulates. The weight of each individual cow is approaching half a ton. But although the enemy is almost 100 times larger, more massive, and almost invulnerable to goose attacks, he gives in to the brave bird. The funniest thing is how cows try to butt heads with a bird without making any effort to the end. That is, they only touch the goose with their heads, but do not trample it, do not ram it. Otherwise, they would understand that the resistance of the feathered aggressor is easy to break. But instead of decisive actions, cows choose to tread on the spot. Here, one of them pretends to rush at the enemy, but when the goose does not flinch, the cow immediately retreats. It is unclear whether the goose has figured out the bluff of its opponents, or he is really as cool as the rock. What do you think? Just to look at how the cows are trampling and causing clouds of dust, while the goose behaves calmly and instantly attacks as soon as he sees that his enemies are emboldened. And the ungulates are close to panic. Goose bites are unpleasant, but they cannot pose a threat to the life or health of such large creatures. They do not understand their advantage and are afraid of a much less powerful animal only because it demonstrates reinforced concrete confidence in its abilities. Have you ever experienced similar cases, but already in communication with people, when self-confidence saved you in seemingly hopeless situations? If yes, then share your story in the comments. When they talk about the most dangerous and cool birds, they usually mean eagles, falcons, and sometimes owls. Of course, this is logical. Powerful curved claws and beaks are really able to cope with serious prey. Eagles can hunt large ungulates like mountain sheep. Falcons accelerate to the speed of a bullet, and with one blow can break the victim's neck, even if it is twice as large as the predator. Owls are able to fly silently, so at night their hunting for helpless prey is more like a trip to the supermarket, where a feathered predator simply collects food that cannot fight back. But there are other cool birds that are underestimated in vain. For example, herons. These shore birds live on different continents and have become quite successful predators in their habitat. They prepare to settle closer to reservoirs. Although most of them do not have the habit of swimming in water for a long time, like ducks or geese, herons feel great in shallow water, as well as at shallow depths. With strong clawed legs, they also have mighty wings, allowing herons to take off almost instantly if necessary. They are thin-legged, with an elongated neck, beautiful plumage that casts a blue, long, straight beak. In general, it seems that these birds are just part of the swamp fauna, which are capable of catching a maximum of large frogs. And it's not like that. Many animals underestimate the blue heron and pay the highest price for its mistake. For example, this eagle tried to take away a prey from a heron, a newly caught fish. Another bird, at the mere appearance of a large daytime predator, would immediately retreat, but not a heron. It immediately rebuffed the eagle. It spread its huge wings, and the heron attacked the robber and almost deprived him of its eyes. In general, the main weapon of the heron is its sharp, straight beak, which acts like a sword. The bird twists its neck and then abruptly straightens it and directs a fairly strong blow at the target. All its power is concentrated on the tip, which makes the penetrating force of the heron's beak greater than the force of the beak of a large eagle. In addition, experience also plays a big role. Herons hunt agile and fast prey, for example. They punch swimming fish with their beak, grab-fast amphibians, and reptiles. So it is not surprising that this large bird can, for example, instantly deal with an adult duck. For her, the heron was just another neighbor that the duck inadvertently let get too close. The result is that the heron inflicted critical damage to the victim in a couple of blows, and is already preparing to swallow such a satisfying prey. Herons also hunt dangerous and large reptiles like venomous snakes that live in swamps and near the shores of reservoirs. A variety of vipers can be a serious danger because the bite of such a snake is a guaranteed cardiac arrest for the bird. But these reptiles clearly underestimated the speed of the impact of the heron's beak. Interestingly enough, the way the bird attacks the enemy is quite similarly to the attack of the snakes themselves. Before throwing, you need to twist your neck to accumulate maximum energy in the muscles and shoot the main weapon forward. As you can see, the speed of the beak shot from a heron is often higher than the speed of a snake's throw. The duels between two herons also looks brutal. Two elegant birds try to keep their balance with the help of their wings, and exchange crushing, stabbing blows with their beaks, crowd each other, and violently attack. For such duels, they often choose places with a shaky and unstable surface, for example, viscous mud on the shore, a tangle of thin branches of bushes, shallow water. Every bird wants to take advantage of the place 100%, so it tries to throw the enemy off the branches, make him get bogged down in a swamp, or even drown. After a powerful stabbing blow, the heron can bite the enemy. The strength of the bird's grip is unexpectedly great, and most importantly, such a bite causes terrible pain to the victim. In addition, herons during a flight with their own kind often fly up to a low altitude to exchange sharp, quick blows of their claws. The claws, although short, are sharp, and most importantly, the heron's legs are very strong, so each hit on the enemy is like a blow with a small hammer. But such duels not only allow the birds to find out who will defend this or that reservoir, but also to train their fighting skills. Long observations have shown that the heron menu is one of the most diverse among birds. Although most of the time they leisurely walk through shallow water in search of fish and other animals in the water, this is just a way to lull the attention of potential prey. What kind of prey? Yeah, any kind. A heron can attack anything that moves, so long as the prey can be swallowed whole. Rodents often do not see a serious threat in a bird slowly wandering through the swamp. And the heron catches and eats rats, mice, and other small animals without any problems. For example, a heron can ruin a rabbit den. These little fuzzy creatures look so cute, don't they? But not for the heron. In the opinion of this feathered omnivorous monster, small rabbits are more of an appetizing snack than good-natured neighbors in their habitat. If there is already a cat in the house, and the owners also have a bird, of course, there are concerns whether such pets will be able to get along. Or will the cat just look at the parrot just as prey? Well, as you can see, this little predator has clearly messed with the wrong bird. The parrot opens up the box and honestly just wants to meet and make friends with the cat. And when he gets hit on the beak, he closes the box. It's simple. A large parrot is a strong and intelligent enough bird to take care of itself. Moreover, the way they show cats that it is better not to conflict with them looks pretty funny. Here, the acquaintance clearly did not work out. The cat almost knocked the parrot off the sofa with a couple of heavy blows. But instead of trying to hide from the predator with the help of its wings, the parrot goes into close combat. He attacks the offender himself and shows the cat that he demands respect for himself. But the coolest of all, of course, is this parrot. He decided to establish contact with his neighbors not by force, but thanks to his communication skills. Although this parrot is quite large and can even be dangerous for one cat due to its large and powerful beak, here the numerical advantage is not on the side of the feathered ones. It understands this and apparently is trying to negotiate. The cats are shocked. Interestingly enough, according to some sources, meowing is not at all the native language of cats that purr or hiss in the wild, and they just learn to meow just for us to attract our attention. It turns out that the parrot copies sounds intended for humans to communicate with animals with their help. Of course, the parrot is not aware of the confusion it caused. It just uses its talent for an onomatopoeia to avoid conflict. But can you imagine just how shocked these cats were? But the unexpected move gave its results. They didn't even try to attack the parrot and just sort of look at it with some kind of admiration. It seems that a little bit more, and they will be accepting the feathered one into their family. Snakes are very dangerous as they possess either powerful venom or the ability to quickly strangle even large prey. Now you will witness cases where legless reptiles took on enemies beyond their capabilities. A jaguar can resist thanks to its claw strength, a porcupine may turn the snake into a cushion of needles, and even a mouse can strike a snake in a way that forces the reptile into a panicked retreat. The rattlesnake possesses an incredibly dangerous venom that destroys blood and the circulatory system. The venom of a rattlesnake ranks among the most toxic globally, and although it's not as potent as the taipan's venom, the dose from one snake bite can stop the heart of a mountain lion in just a few minutes. The crucial part is that the rattlesnake excels at using its main weapon. It has incredible speed. The snake coils its body into a zigzag shape and then straightens out as if shooting forward. To combat rattlesnakes, mongooses were introduced to America over a century ago. However, the agile creature that successfully battles giant cobras in his homeland in Asia proved to be insufficiently fast against the rattlesnake. To capture the bite of a rattlesnake on camera, one has to significantly slow down the recording. Otherwise, the strike simply won't be visible. The mongoose couldn't evade the rapid, bullet-like throw. Of course, rattlesnakes have their enemies, but now facing them is a common small rodent. The snake doesn't expect a trick and employs its usual tactics. It approaches the prey, carefully creeps up to it, and swiftly lunges forward to inject its venom. But an incredible surprise awaits the snake. This long-legged mouse turns out to be an extraordinary fighter. It's rightfully called a kangaroo mouse. These rodents are known not only for their long hind legs, but also for their combat skills. Even though the mouse doesn't have close relatives among marsupials, it doesn't lag behind them in bravery. Admit it, you don't really expect such agility from a little mouse with cute ears now, do you? Such incredible super speed is the result of long-term evolution. These mice have lived alongside rattlesnakes for generations, and in order to survive, rodents had to become remarkably agile. Where the mongoose hesitates, an ordinary mouse proved fast enough to easily dodge the rattlesnake's throw. Do you think that this is a coincidence, or just pure luck? The rattlesnake thought so too, and continued the attack, but it clearly didn't realize who it was dealing with. It seems this mouse doesn't follow the laws of gravity at all, and at the same time is able to accelerate like a racing car. It literally slipped out of the rattlesnake's mouth several times in a row. But the main thing is, the rodent turned out to be not only so fast, but also brave. It twisted in the air and not only avoided the snake's fangs, but also delivered a devastating blow straight to the snake's head. The rodent's mass isn't very large, but to develop such jumping speed, its paws must be incredibly strong. If relative to your body mass, your legs could exert proportional force, you could jump the height of a third floor without a run-up and effortlessly topple lightweight cars with a single hit. The mouse's strike stunned the snake. Not only is it painful, but it's also pretty humiliating. The rattlesnake had to retreat. The courage and speed of this mouse deserves your like, I would say, doesn't it? Another rodent, known as the grasshopper mouse, can perform a similar feat. It doesn't fend off the snake, but thanks to incredibly strong hind legs, it can leap right out of the reptile's mouth. However swift a rattlesnake might be, this time it clearly made a mistake in choosing its prey. The bird lacks a sharp curved beak or powerful talons. Hence, it seems like a suitable prey for the snake. Wow, the reptile made a big mistake in underestimating this feathered creature. The bird doesn't need a sharp beak. It grabs the snake's head so that it can't twist and bite. Then the bird rapidly strikes the snake's head against rocks. Several crushing blows break the snake's neck and inflict critical damage to its skull and spine. Eventually, the snake becomes the prey. Curious, is this an instinctive behavior or a skill adult birds train their offspring for? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. By the way, do you know what bird this is? This is a Roadrunner. It served as the prototype for that cute little animated character that constantly escapes from the coyote. Now you'll know that this beep beep is actually a tough fighter. The Anaconda is considered one of the most dangerous snakes on Earth. While there are pythons that surpass it in length, the Anaconda's body is considered the thickest and densest. The snake's body is as thick as a young tree. Additionally, the Anaconda's body consists of taut muscles like steel cables. And when the snake captures prey, it unleashes its full power upon it. Like other reptiles, the anaconda isn't built for prolonged chases, especially without limbs. However, it has a strong affinity for water and predominantly inhabits swampy areas among rivers and streams flowing into the Amazon. Water supports the snake's weight, allowing it not only to stealthily approach animals at watering holes, but also to swiftly attack them, and then pursue them in water, and maneuver at incredible angles during struggles with their prey. The anaconda's rapid strike concludes by coiling its body around the victim. The snake's weight alone, akin to a small motorcycle, immobilizes the enemy. The anaconda then gradually tightens its coils, breaking the prey's bones and preventing it from breathing. This strangulation might not be elegant, but the anaconda's hunting tactics make it one of the most effective predators among the reptiles. It's feared by large deer, crocodiles, and primates. However, not by jaguars. When this predator spots an anaconda, it leaps into battle. The jaguar is the third largest big cat after the tiger and lion. However, to be honest, the larger Asian and African panthers are fortunate that jaguars live only in South America. While it may be smaller than some distant relatives, it's certainly not weaker. The jaguar is known as a predator with real superpowers. Its bite is several times more powerful than that of a lion. While a lioness strangles its prey during a hunt, the jaguar brutally crushes the skull. Such behavior is not a result of cruelty. The jaguar has adapted to survive in the most challenging conditions. Due to the diverse climate of the Amazon basin, it has become home to thousands of dangerous animal species competing with each other. To cope with armored, aggressive, and hazardous animals, the jaguar had to become a strong and versatile fighter. However, all its arsenal wouldn't help if the snake managed to entwine the cat with its entire body. The jaguar, being an intelligent creature, avoids such a scenario. Its incredible agility allows it to evade each snake strike as if the spotted predator can foresee the future and anticipate the direction of every attack. Moreover, the incredible strength of the jaguar enables it to resist an anaconda attempting to grasp the cat's head. The jaguar tenses its powerful muscles, pulls its head out of the grip, and then bites the snake and drags it despite its enormous weight. Most importantly, it's the agility that makes the jaguar the only creature capable of fighting and defeating an anaconda in its favorite element, that is, water. The anaconda realized too late that it engaged with the wrong adversary. Certainly, this impressive battle of titans doesn't have a definitive winner. The jaguar constantly risks, and a single mistake could cost it its life. However, thanks to the complete concentration of its powers, the spotted cat emerges as the victor in this fight. The anaconda becomes its legitimate prey, sustaining the jaguar for several days. Whose side were you on? Share your thoughts in the comments. We're curious to know where your sympathies lie. With reptiles or the big cats?